In 1980, college student works summers, pays tuition in full. No loans, no debt. Sounds impossible now, doesn't it? Today, almost $2 trillion in student debt. That's trillion, with a T, more than all credit card debt and auto loans combined. Nobody's asking the real question. Who's getting rich off this massive shift? The numbers are staggering. $38,375. The average debt per student borrower in America today. 1,200%. How much tuition has skyrocketed since 1980? Wages during that time? Just 236% growth. 44 million Americans trapped in student loan debt. The most disturbing number? The billions flowing to universities, loan companies, textbook publishers, and testing corporations. This isn't random. This isn't accidental. Higher education in America has transformed from a path to opportunity into a sophisticated money extraction machine. Welcome to the education industrial complex. By the time we're done, you'll never look at college the same way again. $514? That was the average annual tuition at a public four-year college in 1975, according to the National Center for Education Statistics. How did we go from there to students graduating with mortgage-sized debt? The transformation wasn't gradual, it was engineered. It began with a perfect storm in the 1980s. The 1980s, when everything changed. State governments slashed public university funding by 40%. Private lenders swooped in with a solution: high-interest student loans. Universities discovered they could raise prices year after year, and students would pay. Universities didn't just raise prices to cover costs. They entered an arms race of luxury amenities that had nothing to do with education. University spending on non-instructional amenities has increased 37% faster than spending on academics since 2000. Lazy rivers, climbing walls, luxury dorms, all while academic departments faced budget cuts. At the top, university presidents earning an average of $1.7 million annually, 28 times what professors make, all funded by your tuition dollars. If education costs are spiraling out of control, who's getting rich? And how deep does this system go? That's where our story really begins. Every day, thousands of Americans live this reality, take out loans for college, graduate, get a job, make payments faithfully for 7 years. After 7 years of payments, how much progress have they made? According to the Brookings Institution, 48% of these borrowers actually owe more than they originally borrowed. How is this possible? The answer lies in a system designed not to educate, but to extract maximum profit. Meet TW. She did everything right, served in the military, took out student loans to further her education. But now, as a disabled veteran, she's trapped.
I'm fearful that my kids may be saddled with my debt when I die. I have to keep a job just to pay my student loans. It's hard.
TW owes $81,000, and there's no way out, and she's not alone. The trillion-dollar debt machine, private lenders charging interest rates up to 13%, higher than many credit cards. The federal government holding 92.4% of all student loan debt and raking in $68 billion annually from interest. The golden ticket from lawmakers. Unlike every other type of debt, student loans cannot be discharged in bankruptcy. Why? Follow the money. Debt that kills the American dream. Every $1,000 increase in student loan debt decreases the likelihood of homeownership by 1.5%. An entire generation delayed in building wealth, starting families, and contributing to the economy. SG was ready to buy her first home until her credit score dropped from 720 to 620 just from restarting loan payments. Suddenly, her mortgage dreams were dead. Meanwhile, the CEO of Sallie Mae takes home $8.8 million annually. Navient spends $3.6 million lobbying against loan forgiveness. The cycle continues by design. This isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. Student loans are just one piece of this puzzle. The tentacles of this system reach into every aspect of education, including the books on your shelf. $300 for a calculus textbook. The fundamental principles of calculus haven't changed since Isaac Newton. So why are students paying hundreds of dollars for information that's been freely available for centuries? The answer: an oligopoly that would make any monopolist proud. The 5 companies controlling knowledge. Just 5 publishers, Pearson, McGraw-Hill, Cengage, Macmillan, and Wiley, control 80% of the textbook market. Every few years, they release new editions with minimal changes. According to the student pergs, only 3 to 7% of content changes between editions. The masterstroke, digital access codes that expire after one semester, ensuring nothing can be resold or shared. Textbook prices versus everything else. Since 1978, textbook prices have jumped 812%. That's faster than tuition, faster than healthcare costs, even faster than the price of gold. At this point, maybe we should start investing in calculus textbooks instead of stocks. And here's the kicker. Digital textbooks cost 36% less to produce than print. So naturally, they charge students the same or more. It's not about education. It's about control. Meanwhile, financial reports show Pearson enjoying a 42% profit margin on textbooks. If you thought textbooks were a racket, wait until you see what happens before students even get to college. Your future depends on this test. That's the message drilled into students from an early age. But what if standardized tests were less about measuring ability and more about measuring your parents' bank account? The American Educational Research Journal found test scores correlate more strongly with family income than with academic ability. Yet these tests determine who gets into college and who gets scholarships. The business of testing $55 to take the SAT multiplied by 1.7 million students annually. $12 to $15 to send each score to each college. Applied to 8 schools? That'll be another $120. Add test prep averaging $1,106 per student, according to Kaplan surveys. The kicker, the College Board calls itself a nonprofit, yet tax filings reveal $1.1 billion in annual revenue, $1.2 billion in assets, and a CEO earning $2.3 million. Their AP test program alone generates $490 million yearly, all while the test prep industry has swelled to a $1.1 billion market. Once students get accepted to college, the nickel and diming stops, right? Think again. You must live on campus your first year. With those 8 words, universities guarantee themselves another massive revenue stream beyond tuition. The College Board reports the average cost for room and board at public colleges is $12,310 annually. What they don't tell you, research from RealPage Analytics shows dorms cost 60% more than equivalent off-campus housing. The campus cash grab, mandatory housing with no price competition, meal plans costing thousands per semester for food that, according to Urban Institute research, cost 140 to 200% more than off-campus equivalents. Mandatory fees averaging over $2,000 annually for services many students never use. The business model is working. Aramark reports a 31% profit margin on campus dining. American Campus Communities pulls in $1.1 billion annually from student housing. If this system is so clearly exploitative, why hasn't it been reformed? The answer lies in perhaps the most disturbing chapter of all. There's a term for what happens when industries capture the very government agencies meant to regulate them: regulatory capture. Nowhere is it more evident than in higher education. Consider these numbers from the Federal Election Commission and Center for Responsive Politics. $82 million. What student loan companies spent lobbying Congress in the past decade? 1,300 plus. Lobbyists employed by universities to fight tuition caps and transparency laws. 58%. Education lobbyists who previously worked in government. The definition of a revolving door. The education industry pumped $147 million into the 2020 election cycle alone. What's most revealing is the international comparison. Germany eliminated tuition fees entirely in 2014, even for international students. Other countries invest in education as a public good, yet American universities raise tuition by 3.7% annually, like clockwork. The inescapable conclusion: this isn't a broken system, it's working exactly as designed, extracting maximum wealth from students and families. But what if there was another way? We've pulled back the curtain on a system designed to profit from education rather than provide it. From loan companies trapping students in decades of debt, to universities running more like luxury resorts than centers of learning. So now it's your turn. What do you think? Is student debt the biggest scam? Or is it the overpriced textbooks, the luxury dorms, the mandatory fees? Drop a comment below and let's expose this system together. And if you want more deep dive investigations into the hidden industries profiting off everyday people, hit that subscribe button, because we're just getting started. The more we know, the harder we are to exploit. Let's change the game.